This is a huge no-no. This is the kind of stuff you don't wake up in the morning. You just don't realize it.
In the other room, by the hot water tank, there was actually smoke coming out of the pipe there.
This was not in the report. This is extremely dangerous.
I have to make this better than what it is.
You can see it. The inspector should have caught this, visually looked at it and said, you have a problem.
This is disturbing me.
Tim and Kathy thought it'd be a great idea to have a romantic dinner by the fireplace. They could even move downstairs and have even more fun by the second fireplace. They had a home inspection. The home inspector came in and said, you know what, before you use the fireplaces, you should bring in a chimney cleaner and clean it first. And go figure, the chimney cleaner noticed that they had even bigger problems. Unfortunately, the home inspector missed that. Now they have a huge safety concern. We're gonna take a look at what he saw and what he didn't see. But I'm not here to do a home inspection. I'm here to do a homes inspection.
We lived in the city and we were ready. We had had enough. We were ready to get out. Ready for suburban life.
We came in here and just beautiful walks, beautiful waterfront. And I really didn't know the area, so when I got here, I fell in love with it. It's gorgeous.
We looked at new home builds and it just was kind of, I guess, that idyllic dream you have, you know, settling into a nice established neighborhood. We just had that feeling that we could picture ourselves there.
And the place that we actually bought had 2 beautiful fireplaces.
He really liked the idea of a nice warm cozy fire in the basement, having friends over, entertaining.
We actually hired a home inspector through our real estate agent. We came in and they found very, very few things. So obviously that was, you know, our deal was contingent on the home inspection if it passed and, you know, if it was suited for us to move into it. So we were pretty confident that this place was something that we could make our own. Like, there's some changes we had to make, like cosmetically, and that's pretty much all we thought we would have to do. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way.
Hi.
You must be Kathy.
Welcome.
I'm Mike. Nice to meet you. Tim.
Hi there, Tim.
How you doing, man? Oh, well, looks good so far.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Come on in.
That's a nice little place.
Oh, thank you.
Nice fireplace.
I think the only thing the home inspector had mentioned to us in the report was that it would be something that, as wood burning, we would have to have cleaned regularly.
You've got problems with your fireplaces. So tell me, when you used this, what happened?
Well, first of all, we had to get the grates for it and so on, and we got it cleaned. But when we first used it, the smoke seemed to come back into the house, but not here, into the basement. The first thing I had to do was, well, stop using it.
Let's go into the basement. When you lit the upstairs fireplace, this one smoked. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So you did have one wood-burning fire.
We did, yes, and we...
They actually recommended that, the chimney sweep, to help kill the smell
smell the
of
raccoon.
the animals. Yeah, he recommended burning it out.
Yeah.
And you know what was scary to me too was in the other room by the hot water tank, there was actually smoke coming out of the pipe there.
Not only did it draw here, it drew into there.
Right into the other room.
Okay, so somebody's made changes, but I think the change is just the new hot water heater. The gas line that's in here does look old. Looks like there's been no changes there, other than running a new line for the gas fireplace that's in the basement. Oh man, I don't like this at all. This was not in the report. This is extremely dangerous. When you came to this house, was anything in the way that he couldn't get to here?
No.
No.
No, not at all.
Okay. I didn't think so. The exhaust of the hot water tank, because this is a gas fired, so that exhaust that comes up here used to be properly run and was tied directly into the chimney. But what they did is, whoever installed that fireplace tapped into this line, and the way that is done, I mean, I can see that clearly, that is totally unacceptable. Wait till I bring the bros in here. They're gonna have a fit when they see this. This is a huge no-no.
We had a company come out to do the 3 services for us, the air conditioner, the furnace, and also the gas fireplace. Somebody, I guess, with a bit more authority looked at it and said, I just, you know, this needs work. It's really not worth keeping as is. It's just gonna be a ball full of problems.
They said when they started the fireplace upstairs, smoke came downstairs and came out into the downstairs fireplace and came out of right here. And why? Because that cold air that's drawn in the chimney every year, that's when you want to use a fireplace, the cold air is drawn in and pulled across the floor. So as he was trying to light it, as it's drawing and pulling it in, it's actually reversing it and pulling it back downstairs, exhausting it out here and exhausting it out there. My biggest concern is that this gas hot water heater is going to do the same thing. Because they connected that fireplace with this gas hot water heater. The heat comes and pulls the exhaust that goes out and it's supposed to go directly out the chimney, right? Well, what happens if it bypasses that and goes back down and out the fireplace? What do we have coming into the house? Dangerous gases. Okay, so you were advised not to use the fireplace, is that correct?
That's correct.
And that was about the guy that came in to clean the chimney upstairs.
Yeah,
Good
basically.
advice.
We now have 2 fireplaces and we can't use either of them.
Let me see the other side. I'm really glad that you stopped using this because it's actually quite dangerous.
We were actually very nervous with the little one in the house.
Well, I would be, and it's not just a baby, it's all of you actually. It's whoever's in the house. I'd be more afraid of sleeping here, but as long as you have the carbon monoxide detectors in here, you have one in the wall. The home inspector should have caught this and said, you have an issue, please bring someone in, verify it's working. And I don't really care if they know about it, they don't know about it. Put it in the report. I can tell this is new. He can tell this is new. He's supposed to be able to tell you that, oh, it's something new here. They've done some changes. I mean, evidence is there. This is the kind of stuff you don't wake up in the morning. You just don't realize it, because that type of off-gassing that comes through the house, it just keeps you asleep. You just go into wah-wah land and you don't wake up. So unacceptable. It needs to be addressed. It is dangerous, and it should have been actually addressed immediately. And you don't go through a door. I'm kind of pissed about the electrical here playing with the gas line. How much are you willing to pay to get the right advice for the single most expensive investment of your life? How much are you willing to pay? Good question.
You're looking at different things when you first go in to buy a house. You're looking at how many rooms there are, size of rooms, windows, that kind of stuff. You're not going to notice the fine details, and in retrospect, I would now. The upstairs fireplace, there was absolutely nothing in the inspection that mentioned that it was halfway converted into a gas fireplace. We discovered this wire and pipe.
Okay, so somebody was going to convert it to gas. I hope that's not connected.
The gas pipe, luckily, wasn't connected to actual gas source in the basement, but it was halfway done. It was camouflaged by flowers or plants or something, so we didn't see it, and obviously the home inspector didn't see it either.
So I'm not impressed by that. So laundry room. Oh, this is what you're talking about. I see a door.
Well, that's the interesting part. The actual dryer vents out that door.
So more than likely, this wasn't the laundry room, and they made it the laundry room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess it's
Under renovations.
It was strange, but at the same time, it wasn't part of the inspection. We didn't know about it until we moved in, which was a big surprise.
Well, I'll tell you when I look further. Let's go into the basement.
I'd put laundry in the dryer and Tim would be barbecuing. There'd be lint flying up.
Yeah,
It was pretty good.
our menu usually included a lot of lint.
Now, I did read in the report that you should bring in a qualified electrician to take a look at the electrical.
There were some electrical issues which they fixed, but there's very, very little on it. You know, I have no idea who did the work or what they did.
Okay, junction points don't like that, not the way it's done. One, we don't even want that, wow, God, touching the copper. Oh, that's the gas line. That's even worse. Let's not energize the gas line. You know, if you get a spark out of this box with no cover, it can definitely energize the gas line, and that you don't want to do. Hey, I like the setup here. I'm gonna pump you up. Who works out here?
Well, that's actually where we dry our clothes.
Oh, that's cute.
Where I hang them up.
So you bought it to use it, and you turned it into a clothes dryer.
Not too bad. I do use it, but not as much as I want to.
I need to get my tools. I'm gonna go through this house and probably find some more things. I mean, it's a nice fireplace. 2 cabinets on both sides of it. It's everybody's dream to have that fireplace that they come in. You know, what do? You sit down. TV's in a rather strange spot, but they got the TV, they got the fireplace, and it's supposed to be comfortable, not dangerous. It is comfortable. It is dangerous, and I can't use it. What I am gonna do, I'm gonna move the washer and dryer downstairs. I'll okay it with them, but it should be back down here. We have an exhaust vent, let's use the exhaust vent. We have proper plumbing down here, let's use it. And if it ever does leak, it'll leak in the basement and not on the first floor in this case. Now, I don't even have to open this up. I tell you right now, I know there's an old panel, I know there's a new sub panel, I know they ran a line into the sub. I'm hoping it's grounded properly. I'm not even gonna look at this because I know I have electrical issues in the house, and guess who I'm gonna call? It's not Ghostbusters, by the way. Frank is coming in, he's gonna take a look at all the electrical, give me a report on it, tell me what's right, tell me what's wrong. Usually they don't make this mistake in the old day. There's always a drain by the furnace. In this case, there's not. There's a drain in the middle of the floor. You have a pump, and this is at a pump. What it's gonna take is the water off the furnace, the drain that is on the humidifier, and also the drain from the air conditioning. So that's a lot of water coming in there. What if you're gone for maybe 8 hours? It's not a lot, is it? One day, which is average, most people go to work. And for some reason, that pump fails. But this continues to run. And you have a nice finished basement, a new carpet in there, and furniture, and 8 hours of running water in your basement. You do the math. My real concern is all of this. This is one of the main reasons I'm here in this house. It didn't take me long to see all the other little things that were wrong. This one just bothers me that he missed this. He did not pick this up. He did not advise them on it. He did not let them know the dangers behind this. I am gonna bring in a fireplace specialist that we properly exhaust that outside. Lots of new gas lines run. You know, I see all these new gas lines run. I'm not a licensed gas guy, but I sure can say bring in a licensed gas guy to make sure everything's fine. Like, this is really sloppy looking. You don't do this. You don't tie in like this to go out here. So this here, we have the hot water heater. Here we have the gas fireplace. Here's the chimney. They don't work. I have to be honest, there's a lot of good home inspectors out there that have previous past talents of, you know, construction. And they understand building. But there's too many home inspectors out there that have worked somewhere else, have no knowledge of the industry, and have become a home inspector. Mr. Bennett.
Sir.
There are issues here. There was the old deck. The home inspector could not see under the deck. I get it, but there are going to be some grading issues. You know, the high point's right here by the tree over here and just runs back into the house.
What are we doing with the deck? Are we giving them a new one?
Just pull this off. We're going to clean this up for them, okay? But they're going to have to grade all this. Then they're going to have to wait to see if any water comes in this basement. Right now, they say there's no water coming in.
Is there a pool here before?
Just when it rains. Vent in the door. Geez, what the hell's that?
I'll bet you they locked that door off, put the dryer right in front of it.
Yeah, they did. What do we see on the plastic, buddy?
Oh, I see either urine or water stains.
Sure looks like urine to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like water stains. What I'm seeing is how animals got in here and made a house. Let's close all this in. We're gonna have to pull things out of up there that the homeowners now use as a storage spot because this opening allowed them to do that.
No worries.
Let's see if we can get our gas guys in to do a new fireplace, so a gas fireplace.
That'll be nice.
Wood burning's not so friendly anymore
Yep.
for environmental reasons, nor is it good for burning your house down by accident.
Okay. Oh, everything's right in this corner, right?
Yeah.
Look at that mess back
Totally
there.
unacceptable. I want to see a high-efficiency gas hot water heater go in, so we
Okay.
don't no longer do this. Let's give
Right.
it a direct line from a new fireplace that goes into that chimney.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to get the plumbers and the HVAC to work together.
With the electrician.
Yeah, let's see them all work together here. Yeah, we'll see. So you're telling me this is only rated for a concrete insert?
Correct.
Yeah.
Wood, paper, anything that could ignite too close to a heat source, spontaneous combustion, all kinds of bad things if it's done wrong.
There's no structure beneath this fireplace. I have to make it right. I have to make this better than what it is.
Mr. Bennett.
Sir.
There's a lot of issues with the gas lines, exhaust lines, intake lines.
Fumes, carbon monoxide, any gas-related things or electrical-related things make me nervous.
deal with this fireplace and chimney issue. I'll talk to the Ames guys here. Man, what are you guys doing exactly right now?
Well, we have a camera and we're gonna put it up the chimney.
What we're seeing up inside the flue channel is the actual interior flue tiles for the basement fireplace.
Right.
It's a strict no-no for building code.
So they're exposed, it's open to this fireplace here?
Wide open.
So that's what's allowing the smoke to get back downstairs?
Yes.
The gas size there,
Yeah.
that's the wrong size.
What size do you want there?
1/2 inch.
And what do you have?
Right there is 3/8. Ideally, you want 1/2 inch for any gas unit
Okay.
coming up.
Okay, so this is the other one.
What we've got here is a fireplace insert, which is designed to go inside a masonry fireplace.
So this insert isn't safe near wood. It's actually meant to go into an old stone or concrete fireplace. Tell me what problems could arise from having it like this.
Heat and combustibles.
Wood, paper.
Wood, paper, anything that could ignite too close to a heat source, spontaneous combustion, all kinds of bad things if it's done wrong.
Interesting. All right, well, let me tear this thing open and get a better look at the back, okay? I'll get my guys in.
Excellent.
Thanks, guys. Okay, guys, I want you to take out all this stuff. There's some clear plastic containers actually in the garage. Let's pack it away really nice. They have some wedding photos and stuff we'll try and protect. I need in behind this fireplace so I can see if it's actually rated for combustible materials. You guys awake?
Not really.
Adam's sick and you're tired. You know what solves that? Work. Well, now I can see how it was built, really poorly. I think we're gonna have to take apart this whole thing. Well, so far I see a bunch of electrical. I have loose lines just sitting in there. I don't know what was happening here. I mean, I have a plug here, just sitting back here. I don't know if that goes anywhere. Okay, so we're gonna rebuild this. It makes no sense to me to keep this in with the framing that's in place. There's no structure beneath this fireplace. I have to make it right. I have to make this better than what it is. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the fireplace. Is it the right housing for it?
It is not the right housing.
We have the hot water tank tied in, we have the gas fireplace tied in, and both of them are tied into the chimney.
Yes.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, and with the T that it's not supposed to be used.
Well, absolutely, and look at the joints. And nothing sealed here. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It's not even a vent. You can see here, they took a piece of sheet metal, bent it over, and screwed it in to make it fit from this to this.
Correct. You could definitely get carbon monoxide out of there.
Make them 2 new built-ins, give them a wall back, and a nicer fireplace with nicer trim.
So what we found up inside the channel was multiple cracks, a few breaks, and some missing mortar joints, and of course the exposed tile from the fireplace downstairs. So we've got a big problem with smoke migration going not only from one flue into another flue channel, but also in between the existing flue tiles and the surrounding masonry as well.
How you doing, man?
Pretty good, yourself?
Good. Come on in, I want to show you something. I want to show you things like this. This is what we're seeing. This is the gas line here. And we have, you know.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, if you end up getting a spark, that'll happen inside that box. It's not contained inside the box because there's no cover on it, and that spark ends up hitting that pipe. It could actually puncture the copper pipe.
Right.
And that copper pipe containing natural gas can be a potential serious problem. So definitely a big no-no.
Okay, so we'll take care of that. And you want to take a look at the panel?
Yes, definitely. There's no permits pulled on this job. You can clearly see
Yep.
the way the wiring is done.
Yep.
We've got a couple lines double tapped, and you can see right in here, this circuit right here, it's got 2 wires under it, and there's another one on the other side.
Yep.
So definitely there shouldn't be any double tapping. What I'm gonna do is try to clean up the panel the best I can.
Okay.
Use this feed that's coming into the sub panel the best I can.
Yeah.
Just to make sure it's safe.
Right, okay.
So definitely does need to be cleaned up for sure.
I'd like you to scope that drain for me.
Okay, the
Find
floor
out,
drain.
yeah, find out which way it's running, because you know what I want to do? I want to bring a floor drain beside the furnace.
Sure.
Because look at the line. Look at the water line. Look where it comes. It traces all the way back down here and loops back down here and back up and down. So what do you think?
We're gonna find out.
The pump's running, right?
Constantly.
I also want to bring in a high-efficiency water tank, hot water tank in here, okay?
Okay.
Whether it's tankless, whatever, I want you to recommend it for me.
Okay.
Okay, I want to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Also, I want to bring the laundry back down here. Because the panel's right here, I'm kind of limited as to where I'm going to go, so I might actually bring everything back here.
Yeah. But it's going to be along the same wall.
It'll be along this wall,
shifting, yeah.
absolutely.
This is a locator. It works with our video camera technology. It allows me to map out the entire underground system. The equipment in this case was used to pinpoint where the line is running for our excavation purposes, and it gives us direction and a depth, and we know what we're up against.
Okay, here's what I want. I want this ripped out of the ground. I want this ripped out of the ground. And I want that taken off the wall. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take care of the outside of the house. We're gonna fill any holes with caulking. We're gonna pull all the wood out. We're gonna regrade. We're not regrading the whole backyard. We're gonna regrade this for them. Let's make it safe. I want a nice step here. That was a good day, guys.
I can carve a face in it.
Can you?
You didn't turn it into a bear with a chainsaw.
I will do this job first.
All right.
Nothing is direct vented. Everything just ties into one cavity. We cannot do that. You can see it.
This is disturbing me.
We have the hot water tank tied in, we have the gas fireplace tied in, and both of them are tied into the chimney. Most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
And that copper pipe containing natural gas can be a potential serious problem.
Guys are cool.
How are you?
Hi, it's great to see you.
Nice to see you. Come on, we'll show you a few things.
Cool.
It's open.
Seems like there's something missing there.
I asked Damon to pull out the cabinet in the corner, and instead he pulled out everything. And I think it makes good sense because it was made of crap. So we're gonna pull it all out and gonna rebuild it. We'll put in 2 new cabinets. Ames Chimney, would they say they came in?
Well, it's pretty obvious what they said. I mean, you look at that, it's just Mickey Mouse, so they weren't happy at all. They're gonna bring it right back up to code, and so it's nice and safe for you guys to come back in.
See, I don't even know if I should be laughing or not here. Wow, it's...
Well, I said it was funny, but it's not funny.
Yeah.
If they had have actually installed this fireplace, that it was direct vented out, in other words, into the chimney, right up to the top, it wouldn't really be an issue, but they had a problem with the hot water heater, right? So they put the 2 in together with the fireplace upstairs. Nothing is direct vented. Everything just ties into one cavity. We cannot do that. You can see it. The inspector should have caught this, visually looked at it and said, you have a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
This is disturbing me.
Well, let's go on the other side.
Oh, goody. It's gonna get even better. Oh. What's this?
This is a new drain you're gonna have for the furnace because we want to drain it properly and not put it into a pump box. What we're going to do is use a 3/4-inch copper pipe that runs underneath the concrete and it'll tie in right here. And once again, I'm surprised you haven't flooded from the pump box, to be honest with you.
We've had a flood
We did have
from
an
the
incident.
humidifier over to here. Basically, that line got clogged, and we had.
Because that's a continuous run, that humidifier.
Yeah, exactly.
We're also gonna bring our washer and dryer downstairs. You okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
We did talk briefly about that.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with that. So it just seemed like it's kind of in a bizarre place, anyways.
The whole problem with the upstairs laundry is that the drain isn't even vented, which means it's not going to drain properly. You have a better chance of that overflowing, and you wouldn't want that overflowing upstairs.
Actually,
Does that mean
I'm
I'll
surprised
never-
it hasn't. I'm surprised because what it does is all that water rushes down and chokes off that line. And as it chokes it off, it can't take that flow of water.
So
So I'm
that's
really
why-
surprised.
Yeah.
No, it just comes right back up
Yeah,
again. I'm
that's
right?
I'm surprised it did not.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna fix the fireplace downstairs. We're gonna put in a gas insert upstairs. We're going to do something with your hot water heater so it doesn't compete with the other fireplaces. I won't say too much. New cabinets, new everything. It will be back to normal and totally safe and no longer the possibilities of the dangerous gases coming into your house.
Oh, wow.
That's exciting.
Awesome.
That's good. We'll go to bed and
We'll live
wake
longer
up
now.
tomorrow. Yeah, that's good news.
Keep your chin up, won't be long.
Okay, thank you very
okay.
much.
Thank you.
I think it's pretty surprising, actually. I wasn't expecting to see it ripped up like that. I didn't realize, I mean, we knew that things were wrong, but we were used to seeing it wrong in one way, and now to see everything ripped apart wrong is kind of shocking, actually.
We're gonna take this framing out here so that we can actually pull the fireplace, let Ames do their work on the block and the chimney, and we can start rebuilding it, get the new one in.
So when Mike and I talked whether trades were going to be all over each other, remember when we did this? Well, look at what we have here. We have Adam Martin setting up for the hot water tank. I have Dave here dealing with the electrical on the panel. I have Gary over in the corner. He's also dealing with gas lines. We have Ames upstairs breaking the chimney flues out. We have everyone on top of each other right now. It's the only way we're going to get this done. We have to get them all at once. Do they like it? Probably not. Do they like me? Probably not. What we got to do.
Right now I'm disconnecting the gas, so we're going to be relocating and actually installing a new hot water tank. What they did here was they vented the hot water tank and the fireplace out of the old chimney vent. So we're going to be replacing this today, and we'll be putting in a power vented. So we'll be drilling a new hole and relocating the gas. Whoever did this was way out of code. You cannot connect the venting the way they did it. So there's a lot more work here than just the venting of the fireplace. It's now relocating the hot water tank, new hot water tank, and some gas lines. So that's what we'll be doing today.
Okay, this box here that you see, I've relocated the junction box. This was the one that was sitting inside the corner here, right atop the natural gas line. We've moved it out and away from any hazards that it might encounter. Most importantly, the natural gas line. Now it's safe. It's not against any codes. It's accessible. The one thing you got to remember about junction boxes, they always have to be accessible.
So what we're using here is a heavyweight tile breaker. A tile breaking system such as this works quite effectively by rattling around on the inside of the tiles, creating fractures. The pieces break, crumble, fall down the channel. And then as we lift it up, pieces continue to break and fall down. Makes for an easy removal system.
Well, in order to fix this problem properly, we have to remove the clay chimney lining for the basement fireplace and the one on the main floor.
I want all this plastic down right here, and I want this insulation bagged. And as you can see, I don't think that's water.
My job is wicked. Anything to do with dead animals or animal poop is my job.
I didn't expect the whole wall in wall unit to be gone. It's a pretty serious situation with the venting, with the gases. I mean, it really isn't safe, but I'm pretty excited to know that we can go to bed and wake up.
Well, we're just getting ready. We're starting to drywall the bulk and seal off the garage from the rest of the house.
This area here is designated for a new laundry facility. So we have our cold supply line set up with a shuttle valve for the washing machine. The laundry tub is going to be on this side, and we're just making it all nice and pretty at the moment.
I have my stage built. This is going to support my fireplace and my built-ins. We have it all on the same level, so when the fireplace goes in and my built-ins come in, everything is at the same height.
With flue tile, it's never a question of if they'll break, it's always a question of when they break. Well, now that we've removed the flue tiles, now we can put in the double wall aluminum flex system to accommodate the proper size. The existing tile wasn't large enough to allow the system to fit down. So by removing this, it creates enough space up inside the channel to get a nice smooth transition for the exhaust system. The aluminum liner goes down as one continual piece. There's no gaps, there's no breaks, so there's no way for any of the exhausts to leach out or any of the intake air to escape. The original system had just a one single 4-inch vent coming up, which took combustion air out of the basement, exhausted up through the chimney. Because they were having a problem with downdrafting, what Damon decided was we're going to replace that unit. We put a double-walled system in. Oxygen for combustion goes down the outside channel, and then the exhaust comes up the inside.
Get down, Jeff. Down. Down.
Well, unlike the previous gas fireplace, this new insert is rated for a wood structure.
For this manufacturer, they require that you mill pack the joint, then screw, as well as gear clamp to guarantee that there's no way for any exhaust gases of leaking out.
Well, basically, when you install a gas insert, you're going to need gas pipe, and 2, you're going to need electrical. The insert has the gas coming out on the left side, so we had to drill a new hole. The previous gas line was in really bad shape, and it had no protective coating on it. So we're replacing it and running a new 1/2-inch line.
So the whole idea of this exercise is to provide a new drainage that will take the water from the condensation line from the furnace. This copper line is sloped towards my floor drain, so it will allow the water to gradually and all by itself drain away into the floor drain. This is very simple, fed by gravity, and it's literally bulletproof.
So, tilt it to me. You okay?
Yep.
Don't run with it again.
No promises.
Lift! Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm really happy. You know what I like about the washer and dryer being in place? It means I'm being close to finish down here. I have my condensation drain line in already. Adam and Martin put that in. They've changed the trap. Adam and Sherry can now concrete this. We're really running. I have Gary. Gary's running his gas line for the new fireplace. I believe that's the one for upstairs, right, Gary?
Yeah, it's the one for upstairs.
Excellent. You already have the other one in for the downstairs?
Yeah, I got it over here. I just haven't connected it yet.
You look happy about that, and I think Martin's just putting his finishing touches on the drain line here.
Yeah, just making final adjustments.
Boys, we're almost done.
Can't wait.
Feels good, eh? Thanks, guys.
It's been a long day.
looks great, man. Great job. Okay, so you have Adam and Sherry at your disposal. Look at, speak of the devil.
I like it.
So Adam, now that you're here, you can help Rob finish this off. I know we probably won't get this all in today, Robbie. We'll assemble it, get Craig to paint it, because I know he's coming anytime. Because we have one more day that we have before we give this house back, so.
Okay.
More than enough time? What do you think?
We'll do it.
Okay.
Adam and I got a lot of work to do. We gotta get busy.
Let me get out of your hair.
All right, thank you. Damon and I designed this last week. Called me up for the initial meeting. We came downstairs, measured up the space, and drew out a rough sketch. Back to the shop, and we put it together.
Hey. What I want you to do is I want to pop this screen door off, okay?
Okay.
So Sherry thinks she's found an animal in here. If he flies at me.
It's not my fault.
Uh-huh.
See?
He is in there. We're gonna save him, Sheriff.
Okay.
Unless I just dropped him into the sewer line.
Oh,
it's a bird.
Aww.
If he's not out in the next hour, we'll pull him up. Good call, you guys.
It just broke my heart to see him. He was petrified sitting in there. But it did have a happy ending. He flew away and with his family, I'm sure.
After you.
Oh!
Touching the copper. That ever grounds out, that energizes the copper. Oh, that's the gas line. That's even worse. Here we have the hot water heater. Here we have the gas fireplace. Here's the chimney. They don't work. This is a huge no-no. It needs to be highly addressed at this point.
Well, we're really close. I have the guys cleaning up. I have Adam and Sherry doing a big cleanup here. They did a fantastic job. I mean, we're really close. We have Mike coming right now. So I'm just trying to get the fireplace back in order, making sure everything's working. It's a nice warm fire coming off this. There's absolutely no way for gas to ever come out of this. This thing is completely sealed. The best thing about it is that the only thing coming out of it is heat.
I like how he's tied off the main drain. He's going with a 3/4 inch line right over to the new hot water heater.
That's right.
Awesome.
The electrical box that was touching the copper, eliminated.
It wasn't the copper, it was actually the
gas line.
The gas line.
Yeah.
You know what? This works for me. This looks really good.
Absolutely.
If we can bring them through, eh?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look out back.
I'm happy with it.
Oh, thank you.
Good job.
Thanks, buddy.
Man, you're good. Well, let's just start in the back. Why not? It works for me. It's a nice day out here. Oh, it's a brand new backyard.
Oh, wow.
It's not a brand new backyard.
Almost.
Wow.
That looks great.
In the future, pull out this stump, this little mini tree that's no longer any good, and maybe start grading it so it moves its way back and stop that run into the house. But this gives you the opportunity in the future to figure out what you want to do. And what do you see there?
Oh, look at that, it's a new door.
It's two new doors.
Two new doors. Oh, that's amazing.
Let's play with it.
The one thing that I noticed right away, there's no hole in the doors for the laundry vents.
Kind of makes sense not to have it where it shouldn't be, right?
Just pull it from the top, pull those two buttons in, pull it down.
Woo!
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
The good thing about it is the screen's not at the bottom, so if the door's closed, your son's there. He's not going to. He's not going to go through the screen. All right, let's go inside.
Oh, wow.
It's just an empty room.
Gone.
It's
Just
actually
washer and dryer gone.
it's now what it's supposed to be, a mud room. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Now you can put your shoes in here, you hang your keys, do whatever you want, but it's not a laundry room. This is not the way to do this. Now, it's not a new garage. This is nothing big. I don't want to tease you or excite you or anything, but what Damon did do was he's insulated the wall, structured it properly, same as the roof in here, but you have to continue. Pull down the panel, get it drywall. This is something you can do on a weekend. You can hire someone. We've taken care of the crazy stuff. We'll give you the easy stuff.
Yeah, sounds good.
Are you ready to go inside?
Yes, please.
After you.
Oh,
It's on.
Well, now's the time you can actually do the romance thing. The good thing about this is that everything is now proper. The new gas line is run. Everything to do with this fireplace is now legal and safe. We have an aluminum line that is directly vented straight out the chimney. So this fireplace exhausts totally on its own. Nothing is competing with it.
oh, great. And you know what? It looks amazing.
Wow.
You know what? It's gonna be a bed of rose petals.
Now you're talking. There you go.
Is it working?
I think it's gorgeous, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was
Give me the
talking
fireplace or
about
two. I have a good house.
There you go.
Well, I have a good fireplace.
All right, you ready to go downstairs?
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
Now, remember the rule. You're just gonna walk down, you're gonna put your blinder up, and you're not gonna look. That's the way to do it. All right, our deal has been done. Well, now your laundry room is in the right area because your clothesline is here, right? So
Yeah.
It's good work, good work.
Right out of the dryer to the clothes.
this is the washing machine. So you have a new sink.
We didn't have one of these.
I know. You
It's
had
kind of
the
hard to do.
bathroom.
Oh, or the kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward.
Wow.
This is awesome.
Cut a new hole in the floor. Running a new copper line for a drain for the furnace. So let's go over there. Okay, what can't you see now in the corner?
There is no hot water heater in this corner.
So absolutely everything in this corner was wrong. Electrical, gas, fireplaces, hot water heater. I can go on and on. This was a terrible wrong spot. So to stop the competition of the hot water heater bleeding into all our fireplaces, we actually chose this location for a brand new high efficiency hot water heater. So what this does differently now is exhausts completely on its own outside. The way it's supposed to, and not at the chimney. It's not competing. We do not want competition for a chimney. Are you ready to see the rec room?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, well, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Look at this.
Holy cow.
Well, when I started taking the original one down, it was a bit of a joke, and I honestly struggle with it. You know, do I take the whole thing out, or can I use what was there and, you know, integrate something new? Because I had to get into that side. That had to come out the one side. Once I started taking it down, it was so flimsy, it was actually breaking apart in my hands.
You know what? I had no idea what was back there because that little like cubby hole, first of all, I couldn't fit back there. I just knew it didn't look good.
In truth, it was good that that hole was not covered up because that allows people like us and proper home inspectors to see the wrong that was done to this house. So let's do something here. Let's sit down on the couch for a second. Come on, let's sit down here. Let's sit down nice and tight over here.
It's just
It
beautiful.
looks amazing.
I kind of like it. The reason I'm big on the gas fireplace inserts, providing they're installed properly for your own safety, is that they're extremely safe. They're extremely efficient for heating the area and maybe giving you that ambiance of what you want. It's a possible romantic evening here and there. And, you know, there should have been a bottle of wine here, Damon.
I'm
Next
really
time.
sorry. That's the one thing I did forget. I apologize.
Everything but the wine. That's okay. We owe you guys some wine.
So enjoy this, you know, just stay here, get comfortable, get some wine, and we'll see you next time, all right?
That sounds great.
Keep
Bye,
smiling.
folks. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Just the way
beautiful.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know. I even like the handles they chose for the cabinets.
I like everything about it. The hardware, the color.
Say thank you, Mike Holmes, for making my house safe.
If you're happy and, you know, clap your hands, don't. Stomp your feet. That's right. That's what you said a mouthful.
Job well done.
Home inspection company really didn't have qualified people to do these type of home inspections.
Did he say anything about this room?
Nothing. He walked in,
Said nice room?
and walked right back out.
We happen to be the ones who sort of stepped into a mess.
You know, that kind of scares me because visually we don't see a ton. We know we have mold, just how much do we have?
A lot of concerns, especially for me.
Never, ever close in the cold room. There's a lot of things that Chris and Dave loved about this house. Charming neighborhood, school, the house has a finished basement, perfect for the 2 young boys. They were happy with their home inspection, so they moved in. Now there's big problems, basement's off limits. I'm coming in to do a Holmes inspection, and I'll make it right.
We both grew up in the neighborhood, which was a big reason to stay in the neighborhood. Dave works downtown, and we love the fact that there's the schools, the library, the subway. It's just everything is convenient.
The key point we had was the basement. We wanted to have a house with a finished basement for the kids. We went down there and it was open concept, bright. The kids just immediately took to it.
Lunch is ready.
We really didn't want to step into a home and have to renovate or put a lot of extra money into it at the time when we bought.
Based on the report, everything looked really good. It was sort of exactly what we thought. Cute, charming, above average, typical kind of flaws. So it was like, oh, perfect. We can move in and slowly renovate when we have the money. We'll do kitchens, we'll do bathrooms. It'll look great. We'll, modernize it to our taste. And then you all of a sudden realize that the house isn't actually, it's not safe.
Hello,
Chris. Nice to
Dave,
meet you.
nice to meet you.
You too?
Come on in.
So I have heard, unfortunately, a lot of bad things about the house, and I see good things, which is always good.
Over the course of the summer with all the rain and all the watering, we noticed progressively an earthier smell in the basement.
Instead of going anywhere else, let's go downstairs.
The kids' toy closet is where the bulk of the issues are. We opened up the toy closet where all their toys were, and there was mold on the walls. So I thought that was kind of strange.
Okay, who did this? It was like this before you bought it?
No, it was fully drywalled. So I decided to pull all the toys out and tear down a bit of the drywall just to see if I could see anything, and I just noticed there was mold everywhere. I found mold on the outside of the drywall.
I guess you did.
Then I found all the mold up there.
You can't change a cold room into a closet. The inspector should have caught that. It's not controlled with an internal air system like a forced air furnace. And you close the door and it's closed off. It doesn't breathe. So it's going to pull in the moisture from the concrete, from the 2 flower beds. This is the south side of the house. Add the secondary food group, which would be the paper on the drywall, the organics, the wood that's in here, and you're going to have mold. I know that the home inspector cannot see mold behind the walls, but he definitely should know what could happen if you close in a cold room.
We called in an environmental company, so they took 3 to 4 air readings and called us a week later and said you really should leave the basement, tape it off, and not enter it.
So Dave, what does he do? He takes this down himself. He made a plastic tunnel from this area to the very back door. He had his mask on, his gloves, he put it in the bag, and his whole thought was not to release the spores throughout the house.
I realized that there was a major issue here, and realized that myself I couldn't quantify how much it would cost, but knew that there's no way I would have the capacity or time to do that type of renovation.
If you're going to break something down, the dust is going to get through the air, it'll attach itself to the plastic. How did he take the plastic down? There is procedures. This is why we have professionals that do this work.
I started to worry about my health. I have lupus. The potential for someone who has lupus to breathe in lots of mold and allergens as toxic as we had in the basement, basically you're looking at lung problems, breathing problems, maybe spots on your lungs.
Did the mold spores mainly come from this room? Odds are yes. Is there more within the basement? Odds are yes. Okay, definitely wrong. We know we got to work with that. Did he say anything about this room?
Nothing. He walked in, turned the light on, and walked right back out.
Never, ever close in the cold room.
I really feel that the home inspection was not a good one, and perhaps having a real estate agent, provide that service for us just kept us even further out of the procedure of looking at the home.
It was basically 1 or 2 sentences per, area of the house, and no major issues were stated.
So we don't have a lot of mold, like just on visuals, right?
Right.
See, we definitely have water penetration. There is definitely mold on the drywall there. So we know we have mold in the bottom. More than likely, it's just on the bottom. We don't know how bad until you actually take walls down. I'm not going to punch holes in things right now. We're going to have to talk to the environmental guy. So we'll leave it at this point until we speak to him. Let's go upstairs. Not After a thorough inspection of the barbecue, I noticed there is no meat on the barbecue. It is not working. Should be thoroughly inspected.
I found mold on the outside of the drywall.
I guess you did.
Then I found all the mold up there.
I do understand we've had someone come in and test the air already.
Yes.
And we do have mold spore counts in the air.
Very high.
Very high.
Very high. There is definitely mold on the drywall there.
I would say if the home inspector found all these issues, we probably would not have bought this house. The person that came out obviously was not familiar with the type of homes in the area and didn't really know what to look for in this type and age of home. So a lot of things were overlooked.
Everyone likes the idea of having that flower bed in front of the house, but what do you do when you have a flower bed with a window well, a cinder block foundation that's cracked and not 100% sealed? You water it, right?
That's right.
Where does that water go?
Down to the ground, into the foundation.
Okay, so I don't like this. Was there anything in the report about this? I didn't read anything in the report about this. Based on the age of the home, we know for a fact that it is not sealed, so it is not waterproofed, right? If I could lift this flower bed up, you'd see where the moisture's seeping in through the cement block, causing mold to form in the basement. Did you talk to the inspector?
I didn't at all.
Did
I
you
did
talk?
briefly, but he wanted me to kind of wait till the end of the inspection.
So he wanted to do his inspection and then talk to you?
Right.
Okay, did he tell you about trees?
No.
Okay, your root system will actually spread twice the width of the canopy. So you look at the size of this canopy, which says it will spread twice that width, which means you have possible root penetration from the front of the house. Okay, so the ivy, you know, it's not a bad thing. It's not a great thing.
He mentioned the vines on the west side of the house need to be taken off.
Okay, good. That's a good sign. You know, and I don't want to beat the guy up, but we're going to talk about what we see and what was good and what isn't good, right? What do we have here? What'd you do here?
I did a temporary solution.
Okay, tell me about that.
In the home inspection report, he recommended that we regrade the back side of the house. Some of the stepping stones were facing the house.
Okay, so it was running into the house.
Yes.
Okay.
So I just lifted them up, regraded a bit, and I...
Did he tell you to do that?
He said regrading is something you could do.
Okay, here's the issue. So this is a step down, and there's no other area. There's a step down over there. Water goes only one direction, into the house. So anything that comes down from the north side here whatsoever runs directly against this wall. Nothing is being picked up by any drain system and dispersed around the house. What you really needed to do was dig this area up, at least this area, right? And start dispersing that water from the north side because we have higher ground coming into a lower ground system here. Do we have a bathroom upstairs?
Yes.
Okay, I should take a look while I'm in here to take a look upstairs. Old bathroom, old floor. Where's the shoe?
No, the toilet's me.
Okay, visually, like your old door. Even got the number on it, eh? 153. Is this like Bathroom Avenue?
Yeah, we don't know where that came from.
I kind of like that. It's a house fan. We know it works. Have we tested that by chance?
It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Does not work.
At all?
At all.
Did he look at it?
He didn't look at it.
I didn't see that in the report.
No, he didn't look at it at all.
You like the numbers on the door, I'm sure. I wanted to come in and talk to you, ask you a bunch of questions. I need to get my tools, okay, and do a thorough inspection here.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yes.
I have my thermographic image camera just to see temperature of the ceiling. So the walls do appear to be insulated. It is the old insulation method. We have a lot of cold zones around the windows, the sill here. It's not that bad. The hood above the gas stove is 17 inches off the gas stove. We want a minimum of 30 inches of height. That's not how we do the electrical, my goodness. Minor, but major. What I don't like is the dryer line comes down and just hangs down like this. I've seen enough electrical, honestly, to know that I'm gonna call in Frank to have a look at it. I'm seeing a lot of open ground lines, no grounds, some correct receptacles throughout the house. It's a smorgasbord of electrical minor issues, but this one here, I'll call in Frank and have him clean up. Unfortunately, this is not a closet, it's a cold room. The inspector should have caught that. Now, Dave actually took this room apart himself. And since it's opened up, I want to take a closer look. What the hell's that? So this was probably a little window into the cold room, which was A, for fresh air. It is very small. It is just a little window. We can see this. But it's surrounded by what? Wood. What's on the other side of this? Earth. What's the earth hold? Moisture. That's an issue. I'm not going to open the furnace and read all the information off the furnace until this room is checked and cleared. I'm just trying not to move the spores. Well, I don't like to see 15% of moisture content in the drywall when it appears to be fairly dry. Definitely have mold. We've had a lot of actual moisture in this area because we can see it across, really all across the wood. That's the bottom side of it there. The actual grade of the property, it is running south, and this is exactly what I want to see. But as it continues from the north side of the house down, we're being trapped on the back side. The drainage system around any house is called the weeping tile. In a home of this age, the weeping tile system will be in a series of short pieces of clay pipe that collects water at the base of the foundation. As water flows through the weeping tile, it connects to the main drain system and flows right out away from the house. Definitely needs to be addressed. Thanks for coming in, Steve, and actually quite quick, if I may say.
You're welcome, Mike.
Well, let me give you a little briefing of what's happening here. They called someone in, and supposedly they got a level 3 on the mold in the house.
Okay.
The count was rather high, so I think we have the report. We'll let you look at it. But I want you to come in and give a report before we go any further in here and tell me what you think. Through my inspections, I see mold behind the baseboard, underneath the carpet. I'm more worried of the north wall due to the way the foundation and the grading on the outside is. There's no drainage there. It's like a bathtub out there.
We'll take some air samples down here to sort of confirm the findings from the other people who were in. And we'll probably cut a couple of holes just to see, what's going on inside the wall cavity. So we're taking total airborne spore samples, which essentially it's a plastic cassette with essentially a microscope slide inside with some sticky residue on it. The pump draws air through the filter and then impacts any of the dust onto the sticky microscope slide. And then that goes back to the lab. They pull the slide out and they count the number of spores and differentiate the different types of spores that are there. The thing that we're looking for is if the concentration in the basement of this house, say, is much higher than it is outside, then that's obviously not coming in from outside. It's obviously being generated from inside the house.
So rather than using a mirror, I have a light intensity that I can use. Look, we can see the mold right on the wall there. See that?
Yeah.
And we can even zoom in on it.
Yeah, we can see that.
So we do have enough mold across the bottom of this to warrant a removal.
Yeah, there's absolutely enough there to warrant removal.
Mold can be a very serious problem. That's why we leave it to the pros.
We're going to seal the entire basement off, make it a level 3 enclosure. Okay. We're going to set up a 2-chamber decom at the top of the stairs for our guys to change in, as well as we're going to put negative air machines in here so we create negative air pressure. That way all the air for the rest of the house has been drawn into our work area.
So we don't allow it to spread throughout the rest of the house.
That's correct, yeah.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
I've talked to the homeowners. They've given me the clearance to go ahead and do as I see fit to make the house safe. Look at this. A pocket door that covers the freaking cold room. Right? And insulate the cold room. Yeah. Don't put any heat in it. Obviously, it was full of mold. I didn't move anything in here, so I haven't even really opened up the furnace yet. Yeah. Supposedly, all this stuff has spores, mold spores all over it. The reason we're going to bring in the plumbers in the laundry room, we do have lead issues underneath the sink. The sink is cracked. We have a hole in the pipe that is from the vent to the drain. That's not good. Methane gas is coming back. Your job, literally, is to oversee Brian and everything he's doing, and then calculate when to bring in the foundation guys to give a report from that. I have a feeling we're going to be digging. I'm hoping not, but I'm pretty good at my instincts, and I have a feeling we're going to be digging.
Sure. You give me the ball, I'll run with it.
That's what I want to hear.
All right, man.
Thanks, man.
There's signs there that there's problems behind those walls. Look at that. So you think that's adding to the water problems down there?
Based on the report, everything looked really good. It was sort of exactly what we thought. Cute, charming.
You see it all over the bottom of the drywall. So we do have enough mold across the bottom of this to warrant a removal. To properly remove the mold and keep it safe, everyone working on the job site needs to suit up from head to toe, wear masks, and enter through a decontamination chamber.
I got the secret weapon. It's like I got the finger on the button. I got the big red button right here. If I need any answers, boom, there's Mike. So they've recommended I put this on. I'm gonna trust them on that. You sure they make a size for my foot?
We're gonna come inside, we're gonna clean all the items. Have a vacuum all the items, wet them down with chromium.
So we don't have to throw it out?
We find some item that maybe is in bad shape, we might throw it out, we'll make note of it.
Okay.
But most of it here can be clean and safe.
So when they started actually taking stuff down, the remediation people, they actually did see mold exactly where Mike pinpointed. I mean, that is where it was all coming in. The water was coming in through the foundation, like we suspected. It was seeping up the drywall, so there was a lot of mold in those corners. And once it hit the plate of the wood, it actually traveled down both sides. Well, it definitely looks like the block is shifted, and I do see some cracks in the block. It's a 60-year-old house, and it gives it a perfect entry for water there, and you're gonna see some separation when things shift, sink, and settle. I mean, everything's gotta go. We've taken the drywall right down to the cement blocks, and we're spraying to keep the spores down, and of course, the moldy carpet has all gotta go. Well, I have the mold remediation guys in here. They're doing their job. They're well underway. So now I have to get the foundation repair guys in, take a good look on the outside.
Hi, Damon. Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks for coming by. Right off the bat, we're standing on part of the problem right here. This is a cold room.
Okay.
They have a vapor barrier up, and you can see there's water coming in already.
We'll take these flower boxes down and we'll inspect that part of the foundation that's going to be above the grade level here.
Yeah.
We just want to see if there's any voids on the outside. A lot of times with the block foundation, what happens is it doesn't necessarily leak into the house and cause puddles to cause mold and to cause that musty odor.
Right.
Quite often, if there's a void on the exterior of the foundation, either a cracked block or some worn away mortar, water will start getting into the block. It'll travel from block to block, almost like the champagne glass effect.
Right.
It'll create that odor and it'll make the blocks damp on the inside.
I also noticed this. Look at that. So you think that's adding to the water problems down there?
Oh yeah, you can see right through that block. I mean, that's a great source of entry from that point there. If the water gets in there, because the blocks are hollow, it can travel around the outside of this whole cold room from that one cavity alone.
Right.
And we haven't even excavated anything yet.
What do you find, man?
Well, for starters, there's a half a masonry job right here. And by the looks of it, there must have been a pretty big tree in this planter box.
Oh, wow.
Previous, because it was all, you know, you can see it was cut.
Yeah.
Cut here, and, you know, it's hard to tell. We won't know until we get down a little further. These could be digging right through the block at some point.
Oh, and look at this window.
Yeah, this is an example of how not to install a window well.
Would you call that a window well?
Well, I'd call it a couple of pieces of flagstone around a window opening.
Unbelievable. You want any help moving this stuff?
From who, you?
Sure, I can give you a hand.
Let's go, let's get it out.
All right, man. We are going to have to excavate to have a good look at the foundation and see if there is an existing weeping tile system.
If there is a weeping tile system present, what we can do is put a camera in there to see if it's clear from this point to the front.
Right.
If the system itself is not clear from here, then a whole new weeping tile system has to be put in, because you can't just do one section of new weeping tile connected to old weeping tile.
Okay.
All it takes is one crushed pipe, and that totally negates all of the excavation and all of the repair, because the water's still not going to drain. You know, it might very well be on this side of the house. You know, you've got a really big tree right here.
Yeah.
Trees just love weeping tile systems. It's a steady source of water. So it's likely that roots from that tree made it down into that weeping tile system.
Now that the mold remediation people have moved everything out, I've been able to take a look at the walls. We know, clear as day, there's holes in this foundation. It's leaking. It's leaking in the northwest corner, exactly where the mold was. I mean, just follow the mold. It'll tell you exactly where the foundation's leaking. Cold room's leaking, like a sieve. I gotta fix that. So northwest corner and the cold room, two major things.
I didn't think that, you know, something in one little closet could result in the entire basement being taken down. Is unbelievable.
The water was coming in through the foundation, like we suspected. I was seeping up the drywall, so there was a lot of mold in those corners. And of course, the moldy carpet has all got to go.
If the system itself is not clear from here, then a whole new weeping tile system has to be put in.
Well, Mike was absolutely right. We're going to be doing some digging. I don't think the old clay weeping tile system is actually tied in around the house or to the storm drain.
We're just getting back to where the weeping tile actually runs around the house now. So I'm hoping at any time that we'll find a connection where it runs into the storm drain.
So there was nothing here?
Up until the chimney to the corner, there was no weeping tile in place there. And then right where the bucket is right now, the weeping tile just started again there, so.
Interesting, so it would have dumped a lot of water right here.
Yeah. We'll excavate the rest of it, and hopefully we can find our connection.
Okay. Thanks, buddy. The environmental assessment guys have given us the green light to get back into the basement. I think it's time to get Mike back in here for an update.
So how'd it go with the environmental guys?
Environmental guys were great. They pulled out everything I asked them to do. They did a bang-up job. They cleaned everything on their way out. No mold left down here.
So we did not have a lot of water penetration. We're not rusting on the bottom track here.
Nothing really over on this side, bud. Just a little bit in this corner, a little bit of penetration through the block only. Nothing really down low, sort of up high, and exactly where you told me to look first is where we found most of it.
The north and west?
Yep, northwest wall.
Look at the cracks, though.
Isn't
That's
that nice?
standard, always around the window, eh?
Yeah, but you got to see this wall here, you can actually see daylight through it.
And we have cracks, so we have issues with the parge?
Well, the parging was a little bit loose, so they chipped off everything that was loose. They're keeping what's there. They reparge, and then they obviously used the spray.
Okay, yeah. I saw they're doing it now. Timing's everything. Hello. Nice to see you again.
Hey, Chris. Good to
Hi,
see you.
Damon. How are you?
Hey, David. How are you?
Good, you?
All right, obviously we've lost the beds, the flower beds. Okay, and then bringing those out shows all kinds of things. Shows that we had an opening in the cold room. So that was a culprit. But you can see all the breaks in the mortar that's within the cold room, and that was all earth up to here, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big issue, that water penetrate can get in. It would explain why you had so much mold in the actual cold room, not to mention cutting off airflow, okay? So two factors, we know that.
This corner here to the chimney, there was some huge boulders, and the weeping tile actually stopped here. So it would have been draining right in this corner, which, you know, there was obviously moisture in this corner as well.
From this point, let's just walk in the house and I'll tell you what else we found.
Okay.
Don't be sure.
No, I am actually.
Oh, this is nothing.
Wow.
We did find mold right across this wall, approximately 8 to 12 inches up across the bottom, and I'll explain why. You can see right now we have moisture on this wall, right? And the reason we have moisture on the wall is because there's no vertical weepers. It's actually pulling, just like I said, the cinder blocks acting as a sponge, pulling the moisture inside.
This whole corner was soaked. I mean, this was all seeping in here. This wall was wet, and the mold actually traveled right down to this wall, right over here.
Oh my gosh.
So when they actually pulled that drywall off, there was also mold there.
Jeez.
Obviously moisture in that cold room as well.
We're gonna make sure from the outside, one, we're turning this back to a cold room, okay? We're gonna make sure it's waterproof from the outside. We're gonna do a special coating of something on the outside. There's gonna be no drywall in this room. There's gonna be no studs in this room. Could have been worse. Was there mold under the carpet, Damon?
The carpet itself was full of mold, definitely. I mean, it was soaked over and over and over. So everywhere the moisture came in, the carpet was just like a wick. So that carpet was absolutely filled with mold. It was a good thing we got that out.
Well, we are going to
go with a hypoallergenic carpet.
Thank you.
Okay, so and there's other things we're gonna do, and I'll tell you that later. I wanna tell you everything. I'm trying to tell you what we're finding, all right? It's not that I'm gonna surprise you, but I'm gonna surprise you anyways, right? We're gonna make sure that we put everything back to normal.
It makes me really upset to know that we bought a house, you know, and we thought it was really great and really cute and charming. And, you know, a year and a half, 2 years later, we're sort of stuck with all of these problems.
We're gonna make sure your drains are fine in the house. We're gonna scope any weeping because they have not dug this side of the house yet. We know there's no tie-in, but they're gonna confirm it, right?
It's shocking, actually, to see your house dug up in the fashion that it was.
When we leave this house, the air in this house is clean, your house is clean, and we don't have to worry about mold or mold spores happening within your home, okay? So that's then. This is now. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna make a mess, and we'll make it right.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
We're going like mad, but I almost don't have an access into the house, so it's like everyone's on top of each other here. This wall was wet, and the mold actually traveled right down to this wall, right over here. So when they actually pulled that drywall off, there was also mold there.
There was no weeping tile in place there. And then right where the bucket is right now, the weeping tile just started again there.
Hey, bud, so what'd you find? Anything yet?
Well, so far we haven't found any connection with the weeping tile system to the storm drain.
Yeah.
We've excavated 3 sides. The only place we haven't done is the back.
Yep.
I think we should get a camera scope and see if there's any connection for that, if we can find it from the inside.
Martin's actually doing a scope on the floor drain for me right now.
See, this is what I'm looking for. That's another.
What is that?
It's a connection of 2 clay pipes, and what I have here is a slight shift that's been forming.
I see.
This is probably caused by either a tree root activity or some ground settlement that allows the pipe to move.
You know what I'm happy to see right off the bat? That this actually goes somewhere. We scoped it right out to the street, and it's fine. It's shifted a little bit, but it's fine. Did you find a tee-off yet?
I'm looking for it right now, and I believe I found it.
You did?
Hang on a second. Yes, I did. It's right here.
That is good news, buddy.
Yeah.
And
so that will take us inside.
Yeah.
This will go right into the floor drain. So we do have a perfect escape route for the water, yeah.
That is good news. Now that we know we can connect to the main drain, we're going to install a new weeping tile system to collect the water and send it straight down the drain and away from the house.
I can see the inside. It's all hollow. I can almost see inside the house.
To waterproof the front steps, we're going to resurface them with a durable jewel stone. We built this shelter to keep it warm enough to set properly. I get Vince to come in and do a job for me. He wants to just jewel stone this, waterproof it. Water is penetrating right through this. I mean, this 2-inch gap here. Quick fix by a homeowner trying to fill gaps. Obviously, this is very old. It was probably coming out at one point. He chiseled it out. He used the wrong product or so. We're back to scratch of reforming and fixing what was supposed to be done in the first place.
This is really awkward to carry. I can't really throw it over my shoulder quite like that.
Hey Joe, how you doing, bud?
Okay, yourself?
Good. You already been down here. You already been dealing with these junctions.
Yep.
And what did you find, man?
We were able to get rid of one or two.
Yeah.
This one here that I'm working on now, I'll be able to get rid of it. This is knob and tube.
Yep.
And I'm guessing it was buried up in the ceiling, and it is live.
So instead of just pulling it, they left it up in
Yeah.
the ceiling. Brilliant.
It was simple. Disconnected from the moret.
Yeah.
Stupidity.
Right. I can't do anything with this. I'm actually going to have to leave it. So what I come up with is an idea for a bulkhead, basically. It's going to follow the angle of this pipe, Joey.
Okay.
It's going to come off there, come on this angle. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to mimic it on this side. If there's any way we could put a rope lighting back here to just sort of give it a little bit more light, a little bit of a glow in the back here. Start from here back. 6 inches off the light back, okay? Well, we're going like mad. We're trying to insulate. We have Alex coming today at about 3 o'clock, so I'm trying to get ceiling insulated so we can start. I have an insulation inspection coming tomorrow. We have guys on top of each other everywhere. I mean, I have Vince from DeSano doing the jewel stone. I have the bone foundation repair guys out back digging that out. I almost don't have an access into the house, so it's like everyone's on top of each other here. We also did the doorway over here. We had this bulkhead done, these bulkheads done. There's a lot of manipulating. This is all out of whack. So over the years, stuff is settled, gone out of level. So re-leveling everything and bringing it back to true, it's a big job. Alex, how you doing, brother?
Excellent.
Good, man. We're just gonna do the outside walls. I have a cold room. You said you wanted to do the ceiling in there. Why?
Yeah, eliminating condensation on the ceiling. Don't want to spray the walls because we want to maintain the cold room integrity.
Right. And I hear you have a new product?
Yep, we're using Wall-Tight Eco. It's a little more environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
Zero ODP. A little more recycled content in it. Yeah. That's what people are looking for, a little more green.
Oh, okay.
Jewel stone can get as complicated as you want. You can make it a stone look, you can make it a brick look, you can make whatever you want.
Right.
But again, since this is very small, I would just keep it very simple.
What's the process here? What's this stuff?
So you put the mixture in there first.
Yeah.
And then as I'm mixing, Vince is gonna add the jewel stone.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna mix it to our consistency because we use jewel stone plus. It's a stronger bond.
Yeah.
So it's good for patios like this. We don't have to worry about any cracking or anything like that. It comes in white. And what we did is we tinted it with a gray ourselves.
So after you guys apply it to this, I guess you go right over everything?
Yes, now we're gonna go over the lines.
Yeah.
We're gonna pull our lines up, and it's gonna be there's gonna be two different colors. The grouts are gonna be one color, and the top is gonna be another color.
Gives it an automatic grout line.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
We're using mold-resistant drywall to ensure that this basement never sees mold again. Hey, Don, how you doing, man?
Too bad, yourself?
Good. You just taking a look at it already?
Yeah, we're just gonna start inspecting the burners and check the heat exchanger out, make sure there's no cracks in it. We're gonna clean the blower, make sure that there's no mold on it. When they're done all that and you've done the construction here, we're gonna do the duct cleanings on it.
Excellent,
Clean
okay.
the mold out of that and possibly even put a UV filter in it and a HEPA filter to clean out any extra mold.
Okay, thanks, John.
All right, take care.
Okay.
Was that like 5 seconds? Very nice.
They're home.
Oh my Lord.
Wow.
Did he say anything about this room?
Nothing. Walked in.
It's a nice room.
I can say there's no way we would have purchased the home knowing that, you know, it could have been $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 later.
Look, we can see the mold right on the wall there.
Oh,
See
yeah.
that? Yeah. Personally, I think the report is just not good enough. Water goes only one direction, into the house. I have a feeling we're going to be digging. I'm hoping not, but we're going to keep going. We're going to make a mess, and we'll make it right.
We set this up for Vince to keep it heated. It's time to come down. I have to actually do some caulking in here. I have to do some landscaping, so it's coming down.
I'm definitely gonna miss this. There's a lot warmer working here.
That's back to the girls. Be careful. Bring it right to the back there and start taking it apart, okay? We've got a ton left to do here, but what we're gonna have to do is give it one big push to get Chris and Dave and the kids back into their home. One final clean of the duct system will ensure we don't leave any dust or debris from this project.
You know, in a basement, I'd like using a super stick primer or a smart primer, just because it's a little more adhesive than a drywall primer. So it never hurts where there's going to be the potential for moisture.
Well, we've taken away the planter box, but we did manage to save all of Chris's plants. I think it's time to get the crew to do some landscaping. Right to the corner. Ends right about here. So just start placing them in. I just want to eyeball them, guys. Rake this back, guys, and that's probably about it. Now that's a window well. The water flows straight through the gravel, right to the new weeping tile system, and away from the walls and out through the drain.
They're home.
Yes, they are.
Damon's been working really hard coordinating all the contractors in here, and
do I look a little tired?
Yeah, you look good. Oh my gosh. Wow. That looks really good.
Looks great. It's a brand new part.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
It's not brand new. There was talks at the beginning of we're gonna have to pull the stairs, we're gonna have to do this. No, we're not.
What we did is we chipped away the crumbling cement, resurfaced and waterproofed the steps, and I think it really brought it back to life. There was clay weeping tile here, but as you probably saw before when we brought you the first time, is that it stopped at each corner.
Yeah.
So we actually had to have them redo new weeping tile. Went right around and right around the whole house. So that is completely done and waterproof for you.
Now everything goes down. We have proper window wells around your windows, both here and at the side of the house. The north side of your house where we had that bathtub that I talked about, now that it's all done, it does still look like a bathtub because you're not gonna go higher grade on that due to your door. At least it's going somewhere. We're now actually controlling it 100% and there's no more water coming in.
That's right.
So let's go inside your house.
Watertight.
And
That's
no
good.
window.
No window.
No, that's closed off.
This looks, oh, I love this. I love it. Oh my Lord.
Wow.
Look at that.
Beautiful. We'll come in here. So it's clean. It does really look the same. It's brand new again, right? It was completely taken down.
We actually brought the bulkhead right across. It just makes more sense to me design-wise as well as, you know, just for the eye. Brought in less pot lights. We thought there was way too many pot lights in here, so Frank actually recommended we bring in a little bit less. It gives you just as much light. And we give you a proper cold room door. You had a pocket door there before. That's a cold room. That wasn't going to do anything for you. So this is a solid outside door here.
It's a cold room.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Look at that, eh? Proper light. That's right back to a cold room. So in the winter, we close off the damper. In the summer, we open it.
Okay.
This is so great.
Wow.
Do you like cold peppers or hot
We
peppers?
do. My nonna makes them all the time.
Does
And
she?
sauce, and we do the whole old Italian sauce.
Oh, there you go.
At harvest time. And
So you
it's
actually do
great.
have a room for it all.
We do, yeah.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You gotta have a cold room.
I know.
It is your air care system. It is a HEPA filter in here, so it will be the cleanest air you're going to have inside your house because it gets filtered 100%. These things are absolutely phenomenal.
It's nice to know it's clean air. It's been about 3 months since we've been down here playing and enjoying, and 3 months of not doing laundry, which hasn't been too bad for me, but it's nice to finally be back.
Martin actually gave you a new sink. You know, you had the old concrete one that Mike told you that was cracked, so they wanted that out. I let his kids actually take that apart, which is quite funny, but...
Sherry and Mike did that?
That's right, yeah. Sherry and Mike did that. It actually came apart pretty easily.
So I'm the inspector. He's the worker. He's the one that did all the work on this. Damon, he came up with an idea to create an octagon look because we still had the drain in the ceiling. It also came in on the angle, so I said to Damon, come up with an idea, and he did. And that way you incorporate it, and it sort of gives a balance with the windows, and...
When all these lights are off, it still gives you a dim light on the back. It just gives you a bit of an effect.
It looks great. No, it's really...
Yeah, exactly. We put in wall tights. Which is about 2 inches of foam sprayed on in between each stud. Totally seals the back wall. And it gives you a very good R value in here.
There's no moisture. We've stopped that from coming in from the outside. Secondary, there's no hot meeting cold, so we don't have to worry about condensation. Third, the drywall we used is?
Mold-resistant drywall.
100%.
Yeah.
So everything we've done down here is to make sure that you are clean, safe, and it's never going to happen again. And that's the whole point. So everything about this is for you and the kids. And it's not just really for you. It should be for everyone. If we're going to do this, let's make sure we do it the right way the first time.
You know, when we saw sort of what was taken out of our home and the amount of digging and the teams of people from electrical to, you know, the foundations, the mold removal, we know how much work has gone into it, and this is exactly what we sort of wanted, was a safe, clean place to play, and this is it. This is the gold here. This basement is awesome. Thank you so much. That's so great.
So much.
You get more hugs, more hugs. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So great. Thanks, Damon.
No. Another hug? Sure.
All my friends will be jealous. That's for sure. We made a class book about the importance of doing a good job.
No way.
So it's the ABCs of Mike Holmes and his crew. Dear Mike, Damon, and crew, thank you for fixing our basement. I'm glad it is safe. I'm going to play now.
Oh, I like Mike Holmes with an M because he is magnificent. He works his magic, and his son's name is Mike Jr.
Yeah, that's me.
I was gonna say, I guess that's you.
Yeah, that's me, that's you.
That's awesome.
I just want to say good job, guys. You did it right.